7 places that tourists want to come back to, and 7 places where travelers rarely return. According to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, the number of tourists reached 1.4 billion people last year. People have become more proactive and more open to the world, but in the end, they often end up dissatisfied with their trip, and they have objective reasons for that. We at Bright Idea had a look at the results, read reviews on popular tourist attractions, and came up with a list of places where travelers always seem to want to go back, and a list of places where most people rarely return. As a bonus, at the end of the article, you'll find information about some unusual and affordable tourist destinations. 1. Bangkok, Thailand. The capital of Thailand is a leader in the number of tourists that visit annually. There are more than 25 million people per year, and this number continues to grow. Bangkok is full of contrasts, and it's a city that never sleeps. Most tourists leave good reviews about this city. Bangkok is a magical place. It's a unique combination of crazy city life and Buddhist calmness. We've been there 5 times and will come back again. 2. Vienna, Austria. Vienna is one of the biggest cities in Europe, and it tops the lists of the cities with the best quality of life. The capital of Austria is a calm, majestic, and an incredibly cozy place. Vienna is like a huge museum where every street is filled with history. This comparison arises from the fact that Vienna is full of museums: the Museum of Art History, the Albertina Gallery, the Leopold Museum, and the Belvedere Museum. And one visit isn't enough to go see them all, so people come back to the city. Singapore. Singapore is extremely popular among tourists, even though it's a pretty pricey city. About 15 million people visited it last year. Despite being located not far away from the sea, Singapore is not a resort-laden city. Futuristic skyscrapers built in accordance with the rules of Feng Shui, perfectly clean parks, the world's largest Ferris wheel, and weekly festivals are the reasons why tourists never get tired of visiting the city. Florence, Italy. In the past, Florence was the cultural center of Europe and became the cradle of the Renaissance. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Dante, Galileo, and dozens of other remarkable people lived and worked here, so the air in the city is filled with a special atmosphere. The capital of Tuscany is by no means a mainstream place, even though 5 million people visit it every year. And it's no wonder, the city full of world-famous masterpieces, and it's simply impossible to see everything at once. New York, USA. New York is the main focus of our favorite films and TV shows like Friends and Sex and the City. This is one of the reasons why visiting the Big Apple is a dream for many people, and more than 13 million foreign tourists fulfill this dream annually. Carrie Bradshaw joked that people who live in New York would even come to a party for the opening of an envelope, if champagne was served there. And there is something special about this attitude toward life, so people return to this place to experience it again and again. Lisbon, Portugal. The jury of the World Travel Awards called Lisbon the best place for tourism in Europe in 2019. The city has received the same award 4 times in the past 10 years. But, despite all the awards, the city isn't filled with crowds. Lisbon is probably the last capital in Western Europe where mass tourism isn't so widespread. But this is not the only reason to visit the capital of Portugal. Ocean air, streets paved with white sandstone, stunning architecture, yellow trams, and, of course, the happy residents. This all acts as a magnet for tourists. Lyon, France. When tourists plan their trip to France, they often forget about Lyon. But it's considered the capital of gastronomy. Besides, according to research, this city is the most attractive place for life in France. Lyon is perfect for both romantic and family trips. It's full of historical monuments, cozy streets, and restaurants that are impossible to